Hello guys and welcome back to the Traitors Australia, and we are looking at episode 7 of series 1. I gotta say, this series is genuinely keeping me on my toes. It's keeping me entertained. It's making me wish that there were 50 back seasons like there is with Survivor in the US that I can just sit and binge and watch and talk about. And oh my god, I actually can't believe that once I finish this series, there's no new Traitors TV to watch until BBC adds New Zealand, Canada, US 2. Come on, I need it. Guys, please, BBC, please, I need it. But we are going to be talking about episode 7 today. It was a good one. I've watched episode 7 and 8, and I'm going to be talking about them sort of back to back because I'm away for the weekend. So, you guys, you're in for a ride. You're in for a fun time. I hope you guys enjoy. But before we do get started, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you're hitting that like button. We are almost at 700 subscribers, although I'm technically recording this really early, so we might be over 700, in which case we're on our way to 800. It's going to be so embarrassing if that's not right. Oh god. But anyway, it is what it is. Hopefully I am correct. If I'm not, then I'm just going to look like a right mug. But make sure you're subscribing. Come on, we are getting our way to 1,000. I mean, either way, that's the goal, let's be honest. So make sure you are subscribing. Let's get on with the video, shall we? So, breakfast came along, and with the main character editing that this show really likes to employ, we were looking at Alex today. Alex got a lot more screen time. We found out that she is a lesbian, which I really didn't expect, actually. I don't know. I find that this show, The Traitors, really sort of shocks me when they're like, oh yeah, this person's a lesbian. I'm like, I never would have guessed. Like, that's actually crazy. But also, big props and big love. Alex is suspecting Dirk for being sort of carefree and sort of blasé about the whole sort of situation. She's been suspicious of him for a while, but now the fact that he's like walking into the breakfast room and he doesn't seem to be very nervous or sort of relieved or anything, he's just happy, it does create some kind of suspicion. Teresa has completely cleared Mark completely, and then she's asking whether Matt is trying to distract them as a double bluff. Is this whole thing a double bluff from Matt? Is he actually a traitor trying to accuse her, but seeming so blatantly faithful that he's actually a traitor? It's very complicated work. Matt's not that smart, but Craig was basically telling Matt, you gotta have an open mind. You can't keep banging on. Ah, we've gone into The Apprentice. No! Back to the Traitors. We can't just keep on banging on the same door because it's not yielding any results. Nobody wants to go with you on this vote. Nobody wants to back a Teresa vote. So why do you keep wanting to back a Teresa vote? It's not working out in your best interest of what's going on here. I did agree with him. I think it's blatantly clear she's not a traitor just from the way she is. But Matt's still going to be going for her secretly. He's going to appear to have an open mind, but he's going to still be going for her. And I actually just can't be bothered with it. I'm so sick and tired of him and his shenanigans. I'm done with it. I'm over it. But unfortunately, it was Mark that was taken out of the game. It's been a long time coming. He managed to get Angus out. He led the charge on Claire, and he was about to lead the charge on Marielle. It just made sense to get rid of him. As much as it sucks, he was the smart choice to murder. There's no way you could have allowed him to stay any longer in the game because, my god, this man was good at this game. He, like, genuinely, he might be one of the best Traitors players that we've ever seen on this show. Like, genuinely so good. Kate was the last person to walk in. We got an exit interview for the first time on Australia. I'm fairly certain. I don't think any other murdered person has got sort of like an exit interview. So that was kind of iconic. So yeah, on the whole, really interesting. But Kate believes that it's Dirk and Teresa. And everyone's sort of like, oh, Kate's so in tune. Kate's so like, she's so good at working out who it is. No, she's not. She really isn't. She's the only person that she's voted for that was a traitor was Claire. every other, I actually was looking back through her like track record so far, and the only person that she's voted that was a traitor was Claire. She's gone against the grain most of the time and voted for who she thinks it is, and who she thinks it is wrong. So I don't think she actually is that good at the game. But Teresa, Fee, and Marielle believe that it's Kate because of the way that she entered the room and immediately went, Mark's gone, isn't he? That's a little bit suspicious if you ask me. A little bit suspicious. So the mission in this episode was fairly simple. They were on like a railway track or something like that. They love they love locomotives, this series. We've had like a mission on a train. Now we've got a mission on a train track. We had planes. Planes, trains, and automobiles. Where's the cars at? Well, they travel there in cars, don't they? So technically that's the automobiles. But their quest was to move cannonballs onto, like, you know those things that you push up and down and they go along a railway car. I can't remember what they're called. But they had to take cannonballs to the catapult. Then the catapult had to fire, they had to hit targets, and then the more targets they hit, the more money that they accumulated. Somehow, Nigel and Marielle ended up as the people loading the cannonballs at the far end. So 90% of the game, they were on their own. So they were just able to talk freely. They were just able to talk about everything. And they were just talking about who they want to murder, who they're going to stitch up, who they're going to put in the sort of firing line. It was actually really, really fun to watch. It was a really, really good mission. The mission itself was pretty boring. These missions very much do make me think they would be so much fun to participate in, but to watch, not so much. Not so much, yeah. So they managed to make $20,000 from this, Australian dollars that is, and they moved the prize box up to like 158,000, I think. I think that's how much they're on now. But either way, they're doing an absolutely fantastic job. Really, really racking up the money now. And then we moved into the Shield Challenge. The Shield Challenge was a similar one to one that we saw on, I think it was UK2, where they had to line up a crossbow and fire darts at panes of glass and smash it, and then the last person standing would win the shield. But remember, this shield protects you from banishment as well as murder, which is OP, but I kind of like it for this series. I'm glad it's not in every series because I think it is just too OP, but it's a nice sort of game changer for one series. I think it does help a little bit, but everybody really didn't want Kate to get it, and Kate ended up getting it. I always find that that's the case, because do you remember in US2 when everyone wanted to go for Keith, and he ended up winning the shield, and so they just voted him out at the banishment that day because they were like, oh, we wanted to kill him at night, let's just banish him now so that we can just kill who we want at night. It's really interesting that the targets usually do get the shield and it protects them in some way, shape or form, although rest in peace Keith, he did not get protected in the game. But I found it fascinating that Kate was so good at this challenge. It was really, really interesting. And there were a couple of other interesting moments that did happen in this sort of challenge, but I'm going to save them for the suspicion section because I think they're better suited there. So guys, it's time to talk about some suspicions, but before we do, I just want to talk about some stuff from the Shield Challenge. Matt and Teresa were in a car with Dirk, and Matt was basically going, Teresa, don't worry, I'm not going to go for you anymore. And Teresa's like, thank fuck for that, because you've been barking up the wrong tree for God knows how long. I'm sick and tired of it. It's done. You need to end it now. And Matt was like, yeah. And then in his confession was like, never. And then Dirk said something a little bit dodgy. Oh, bless Dirk. Dirk said, because Fee was really worried about, she wanted the shield. And Dirk was like, what have you got to worry about? You're not getting banished. And Fee was like, but I might get murdered. And then Dirk was like, oh, I forgot about the murder, yeah. And obviously, like, I understood what he meant. But Dirk, oh, bless you. Bless your cotton socks. How could you make such a ridiculous mistake like that? Oh, it's not even fair. Because you just made a mistake. And now Fee is piling on you. She's telling everybody about the comment. And now, like, Kate's also gunning for you. Dirk, it's just not looking good for you. You're being blindsided and it's not fair. It's not fair because, like, Dirk actually has not done anything wrong this whole time. And then he just makes one stupid comment and it's like, oh, everyone now believes he's a traitor. Oh, it is really, really funny. It is really funny. But then Matt was like trying to give Dirk a pep talk and Matt was like, yo, the only way that you're getting out of it is if you vote for Teresa tonight. And Dirk was like, you what? If you back me on the Teresa vote, it'll all be good. It'll all be good. And Dirk was like, no, because that will make me look more suspicious because I've never suspected Teresa. So why would I start voting for her now? That would just make me look more suspicious. Honestly, Matt has got a very, very weird vendetta against Teresa. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. Because his evidence isn't even good enough to, like, convince other people. It really isn't. The only other person around that table that believes it might be Teresa is Kate. That's the only other person. And as we know from Kate's track record, she ain't got one. It's horrendous. She's dreadful. It's tough, isn't it? It's really tough. It is really tough. So we come on to the round table. The round table was actually very, very interesting. Dirk defended himself straight away. I felt like he actually did a really, really good job of defending himself. But then Fee came in and went, I don't get the impression that you're scared of getting murdered because of this comment that you said, etc, etc, etc. I don't think that is a very sort of faithful thing to say. And Dirk was like, yeah, I made a mistake with my words. Obviously, I wasn't meaning that. But also, if I was a traitor, I probably wouldn't have said that regardless. And then he was like, he did the classic, do you want to break your losing streak or your winning streak and prove that you guys were relying on Mark? And I was like, raw, this man's just decimated everyone by saying the only reason why you got 2 traitors out is because Mark was the brains behind the operation. That's the only reason. Which, like, crazy, first of all, absolutely crazy, but also, wow. Well done, Dirk. You actually got him there. You really did get him, and I was really, really impressed. So, yeah, good job there, mate. Then Teresa was like, I'm still sus on you, Kate. You might not be able to get banished today, but I'm still sus on you. Like, it's just an attitude change I've seen. I don't know. And that's what we've seen from Angus. That's what we saw from Claire. We saw attitude changes. And that's what you've had. And then Kate was like, but Teresa, you haven't been scared this entire time. You don't show any nervous energy. And Teresa was like, I'm just better at hiding it than you are. So that's all I got to say to that. I am nervous. Of course I am. I'm scared. But I just don't show it. Because what's the point? It's not going to help me in this game. And I was like, okay, Teresa, actually, you bring up a very, very good point. And then Matt, in all his wisdom, is suddenly like, I just want to break up the cliques. And everyone was like, what are you talking about? What cliques? There are no cliques. We are all united to try and get the traitors. There are no cliques. That you just want to get rid of Teresa. You just want to... Oh, God. And then Nigel was like, Matt, your track record in this room is abysmal. You have not helped us get out either of the traitors. Either of them. You didn't vote out either of them. Both times. In fact, let me check. I'm pretty sure both times he voted for... Last time he voted for Teresa... during Claire's eviction, and then the time before, I'm fairly certain, where is it? Matt also voted for Teresa. So actually, what have you been doing to help the faithfuls? You've actually done nothing. And he's like, but I'm looking at alternate avenues. No, you're not. And then Alex chimes in and goes, listen, Matt, your slips are starting to add up against you, and it's not good. And then Fee was like, I came in here wanting to write down Dirk's name, but you, the way you defended yourself, Dirk, incredible. You've changed my mind. But you, Matt, you're absolute chaos around this table. You just cause distraction after distraction when we're trying to find the traitors. You don't have any concrete evidence. You are just chaos. And then Teresa was like, yeah, and you've backstabbed me as well, because you sat across from me in the car today. Dirk was there, and you said, I'm not going for you anymore. I am going to have an open mind. I'm going to go for someone else. And Matt was just like, yeah, but. And I was just like, oh, Matt, leave it out. Leave it out. I'm so done with you. I'm so done with you. I'm sick and tired of it. It's done. It's over. You are not getting the table to vote for Teresa. It's not happening. Further down the line, fair enough, but you've still got a lot of people who have trust in her. So you're fighting a losing battle, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that you can't notice it as well. That's the embarrassing part. Yeah, it's tough. So we are now moving on to voting time. Voting time went rather predictably the way I thought it would have gone. Dirk voted for Matt. Nigel voted for Matt. Craig voted for Matt. Matt voted for Teresa. Marielle voted for Matt. Alex voted for Matt. Kate voted for Dirk. Paul voted for Matt. Bea voted for Matt. Teresa voted for Matt. And Lewis also voted for Matt. So out of a possible 11 votes, Matt received 9 of them. Tough. It's crazy because most of the people in that room went in there with the intention of voting out Dirk. And the fact that their mind changed, absolutely crazy. Like, genuinely absolutely crazy. Really didn't expect that. But it is what it is. Bye-bye, Matt. Honestly, you're probably the worst player we've ever had on the show. Ever. Like, Sarah was bad in the previous series. Sarah was bad. But, like, you're just chaotic for no reason whatsoever. And you just had one person in your iron sights and then just never really let go. So, what was all that about? But either way, is what it is. Not really much you can do. Time to move on to Traitors Tower. Now, Traitors Tower was a very, very interesting endeavour, because they were told that they had to recruit someone. It's annoying because it feels like this version of the Traitors is very much like the Traitors, you must do this tonight. You must do this tonight. Rather than like the US and the UK version where it's like you can choose to recruit someone or you can murder. What do you think is better for your game? Because I think they really wanted to murder tonight, but they had to recruit. They decided to recruit Alex. And I think that was an interesting choice. They thought about maybe using Kate, but they thought Kate's on her way out and they want someone that they can work with long term. They thought about Teresa, but again, she's under suspicion. They also thought about Lewis, but again, will he accept? So they decided to go for Alex. And I thought Alex was an interesting choice because no one's really brought her name up or suspicious of her at all. So she's kind of the perfect person to introduce into the fold. Yeah, very interesting indeed. But remains to be seen whether she will be a good traitor or not, or even if she'll accept, because I can't remember whether she accepted at the end of this episode or not. But it is what it is. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next episode of whatever I do. It will probably be some form of Traitors content tomorrow, so make sure to check it out. We will be back tomorrow, hopefully. Fingers crossed if I've got all the videos up in time for when I go on holiday. But you guys are fab. You guys are amazing. Keep on ranting. Keep on subscribing. Bye now.